I'm going to spend the next few minutes explaining exactly what CBD is and what CBD isn't. Let's jump right into it. So you've probably heard about CBD as it's had an awful lot of press over the last 12 to 18 months. But what exactly is it and what is it good for? Well, we'll go into exactly what it is in a little while. But in terms of what CBD can be used for, it has been indicated for so many different health benefits. Primarily, however, it is indicated to help with pain, indicated to help with anxiety and depression, and indicated to help with sleep issues. There are a lot of different terms and definitions around the CBD industry, and we're going to go through them so that you can be educated. So some of the terms you'll have heard will be CBD, THC, hemp, marijuana. What does this all mean anyway? Well, first of all, let's talk about marijuana versus hemp. Now, the first thing to say is that hemp is not the same as marijuana. Both of them come from the families of the cannabis plant, but here is the significant difference. Marijuana is where you find the THC, and that's the compound within the plant that gives you a high feeling. So it's mood altering and gives you that euphoric high. Whereas hemp only contains CBD, and that's the medicinal side of the plant. So there's two sides. You can have marijuana that's high in THC and gives you that high feeling, or you have hemp, which doesn't have THC or is very low in THC and contains high in CBD, which is the medical side and the medical property of cannabis. And that's what we're concerned with, the CBD side. So let's talk about CBD versus THC. So unlike THC, CBD does not get you high. CBD, it's the non-psychoactive compound of the cannabis plant. Instead, it reacts with certain endocannabinoids and cannabinoid receptors to control pain, emotions, sleep cycles, and so much more. CBD also has anticonvulsive properties and can reduce seizure thresholds, and recent research is showing amazing promise for CBD to actually kill cancer cells. But what exactly are endocannabinoids and cannabinoid receptors? What are endocannabinoids? Well, they are retrograde neurotransmitters that bind to cannabinoid receptors. Now that probably doesn't mean too much to you, but I'm gonna bear with me because I'm gonna bring it all together in a minute. They're naturally created throughout our bodies, and they're also found in certain foods and various polyphenols that we consume daily out of plant matter and our diet. They are 100% naturally occurring. And whether our bodies use them or not is a very different story. Let me give you an analogy which I hope will make a lot of sense and bring all this together. The cannabinoid receptors are located throughout your body, and if you think of them a bit like a loading bay that's going to receive all of the good nutrients that it can then utilize through the body. Now, the endocannabinoids, if you think of those like the delivery truck that has to find the loading bay, and that's the simple way to think of it. So the endocannabinoids are these delivery trucks, and they're there in your body all the time. But sometimes they just aren't very good at finding their way to the cannabinoid receptors, the delivery bays. So if you just remember that the cannabinoid receptors are just like the loading bay, and the endocannabinoids, which are always naturally occurring in your body, are like the delivery trucks that are trying to find their way home. They're trying to find their way to the cannabinoid receptors. Now, sometimes they don't do a very good job about that, but we're going to talk about that in a few moments. So, there are two types of these cannabinoid receptors, ones that we call CB1 and ones that we call CB2. Now the CB1 receptors, remember, think of these as loading bays, are mostly found in the brain, and they've been known to mostly work with the effects of mood, emotion, appetite, coordination, movement, and pain related to the brain and how you perceive that pain. It's the activation of these particular CB1 receptors that have been indicated for helping with relieving depression, lowering anxiety, reducing fear and paranoia. So very much more activating on the anxiety and depression side of the use for CBD. Whereas the CB2 receptors, these are mostly found throughout the body in the peripheral organs and especially cells associated with the immune system. Now, these particular receptors, remember, think of them as loading bays, works mainly on body pain, inflammation, and strengthening the immune system. Now, here's where things get really, really interesting, because the CBD supplementation that you take does not force your brain. Whereas THC, and remember THC is the compound in marijuana that gets you high, that actually binds to these cannabinoid receptors in the body, and that's why it will give you that high feeling. CBD does not do that. It doesn't force your brain. CBD works in a very, very intelligent way. It will not bind directly to either of these receptors, either the CBD1 or the CBD2. In fact, it works very indirectly. These indirect actions include activating TRPV1 receptors that work to control important functions like pain perception, body temperature, and inflammation. Now, if this all sounds like it's way too technical for you, don't worry, I'm going to give you another analogy which is going to make this all fall into place and make complete sense to you. Now, CBD influences your body to naturally produce and utilize more of the endocannabinoids that already exist throughout your body. This enhances the efficiency in which the CD1 and the CD2 receptors actually uses these endocannabinoids. So, let me bring this all together with an analogy. Remember that we said the cannabinoid receptors are just like the loading bays. They're found throughout your body. And the endocannabinoids, they're like the delivery trucks that are trying to deliver these nutrients into the loading bays. Now here's the thing, as I said to you earlier, then sometimes the endocannabinoids, although they're in your body all the time, they're not very good at finding their way to the receptors. Okay. When you supplement your body with CBD, what it does, not only does it increase the amount of endocannabinoids, the number of trucks in your body, essentially, but it also makes them much, much better at finding those CD1 and CD2 receptors. Think of it as if we've added extra trucks to the system and given everybody a GPS to find their way to those loading bays. That's exactly what CBD does. It's like putting your endocannabinoid system with a GPS to find its way to the receptors it needs to utilize. And due to this, because it's all naturally occurring within your body anyway, and all we're doing is really improving upon what's actually there is no chance of addiction or dependency. Your body already has these things inside it. You're not adding anything that actually influences any body systems. It just improves the natural systems that you already have. Isn't it incredible? And what I find most amazing of all about these endocannabinoids is, yes, they're naturally occurring inside your body. These delivery trucks that are taking the nutrients to the delivery bays, they're already naturally inside your body. But what I find most incredible is that this natural world around us that we've evolved with over millions of years has provided us with the ability to use these plants from nature, to use these foods from nature to help supplement our bodies. And our bodies are designed to do this naturally. But over generations of modern medicine, we've forgotten about this. And we're just bringing it back to the forefront now. That together over millions of years, our bodies evolved with the plant life around us to work in harmony. So that everything we need is around us. We just need to take it and supplement in the right ways to be able to get the incredible health results that Mother Nature has given us. Let me talk about some of the research that has been done on CBD and the various problems that it's been indicated to help fight against. Acne, ADD, addiction, Alzheimer's, anorexia, anxiety, arthritis, asthma, cancer, colitis and Crohn's, depression, diabetes, epilepsy and seizures, fibromyalgia, glaucoma, heart disease, inflammation, IBD and IBS, migraines, motion sickness, multiple sclerosis, nausea, obesity, osteoporosis and general bone health, pain, PTSD, sickle cell anemia, sleep disorders, stress, stroke and weight loss. This is independent medical research facilities that have all been testing CBD and found very, very positive results for these various different problems. Another great thing about CBD is it's what's called biphasic. Now all this means is it has the wonderful ability to be alerting and stimulating at low doses, but sedating at higher ones. Now what this means for you in your daily life and for people that you're talking to means that you can now take a low dose of CBD in the morning to have a light stimulating effect throughout the day, and then higher doses at night to help you drift into a restful sleep. So we're going to talk about some misconceptions of what CBD can do and what CBD can't do. The first big one is that CBD can instantly cure cancer. It can't. Okay, there's some very, very good research into CBD and how it is influencing cancer cells and causing necrosis, cell death in cancer cells, but it certainly cannot instantly cure cancer. We would never claim that, and we would urge you to never claim that. CBD works immediately for everything. Now, there are some things that CBD works absolutely terrifically for very, very quickly. And within quickly, I'm talking within 30 minutes, things like seizures, things like the effects of Parkinson's has shown very, very good results. Things like anxiety. All of those things, it has reasonably quick indications for working quickly for. However, that is not the case for every single ailment in the world. It just isn't true. It will help give you better general health, but it doesn't work immediately for every single thing. CBD can cure anything. Now, CBD is the big buzzword at the moment, and people are literally adding CBD to everything just to say it's making it healthy. It's not true. CBD cannot cure anything at all. It has great indications for a lot of different things, but not everything. So please don't say it's a miracle cure for everything. It really isn't. CBD will make me happy. Not necessarily true. It certainly has great indications for things like anxiety and depression and mood altercation, but ultimately happiness comes from within, and you shouldn't rely on something like CBD to be a cure-all for those issues. And finally, CBD is the same no matter the source. Now, this is an absolute fallacy. The higher the quality of production of CBD, then the better the results will be. Not all CBD is created equal. So let's talk about delivery mechanisms, the different ways that CBD can be taken to get the great effects of those extra endocannabinoids. So you can take it sublingually by putting a little dropper of oil underneath your tongue and letting it absorb through the capillaries in the mouth. You can take it topically, something like the patch. You can take it as an ingestible, like a capsule, or you can take it via respiration, like in a vape. So I hope that that's helped you understand exactly what CBD is and what CBD isn't. To get more great well body and mind information, you can follow us at our social media accounts. The links are shown in the description below. Also, you'll be able to find our link to our recommended CBD products in the link in the description below. I hope you enjoyed this video and have a well body and mind.